Over on Prime Video, arriving on Thursday the 25th of July, we have a new feature film called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And here's a clip.
Gus March Phillips, I have a mission I want you to lead. Thank you, Sergeant.
What's the plan?
To neutralize the German U-boats in the North Atlantic.
We're losing the war. Hitler is not playing by the rules, so neither are we.
Guy Ritchie. What is it with Guy Ritchie and Gentleman? He seems very intrigued by Gentleman, doesn't he? This is the latest offering from him with Gentleman in the title. It's a World War II kind of action caper, I guess you could call it. And it stars Henry Cavill from The Witcher. Based on a true story, I should add. He plays Gus March Phillips, who is recruited by Winston Churchill. See if you recognise who's playing Winston Churchill, because I didn't. And of course, famously, Gary Oldman was virtually unrecognisable as Churchill in The Darkest Hour. So yes, Churchill and Ian Fleming as well, the creator of James Bond, recruit Gus and a sort of his band of rogues to... The problem is that in the war, the German U-boats are basically sinking everything that tries to cross the Atlantic. So unless this problem can be tackled, we're going to lose the war. So yes, in his motley crew, you have Alan Ritchson, who of course played Reacher in the TV adaptation of those books. He plays the muscle-bound Danish naval officer Anders Lassen. It starts very promisingly. So we see Lassen and Phillips on a sailing boat. They're being boarded by some evil Nazis, and they're pretending to be Swedish fishermen. It's quite Tarantino-esque, and I kind of think that's partially what Ritchie was aiming at with this. It's got a touch of Inglourious Bastards about it. So yeah, that's a great scene, and you think, oh, this is going to be good value. There's a very high, incredibly high body count, and there are just endless sequences where people are just strolling about nonchalantly killing Germans, hundreds of them, which I grew a little bit tired of. Also, the mission has to change a couple of times when new information comes to light, but it does come to light in rather unconvincing ways, I have to say. So I'd say this is kind of like, I don't know, Tarantino light. It's perfectly watchable. I mean, I do enjoy most of Guy Ritchie's stuff, and there's plenty in this which will entertain you. But yeah, it's pretty throwaway at the end of the day. But yes, it's a perfectly enjoyable wartime caper. What did you think, Hannah?
I told you before, the wartime stuff, I don't know, it always makes me a bit uncomfortable. I don't know why. I find it really hard to kind of watch. But, this is a Guy Ritchie, made... and produced by him. It's I don't know, it's got kind of a certain appeal, I think, because he's done it, and he brings a sort of je ne sais quoi to things, I think, sometimes. It's massively action-packed, as you'd expect it, and also the kind of... It is different, because quite often with war stuff, which I find difficult to watch, is because, I think I said to you before, I studied war poetry at school, and it just left, I don't know, it just left this horrible, it scared me, essentially, really scared me. And this brings a sort of sense of humour to it, doesn't it? This is, and kind of another element to it, which I think makes it, really, really different. Love Henry Cavill, and I think he's great in the part of Gus. And yeah, it's a loose basis, it's loosely based on reality, as opposed to kind of this exactly. But I think it's quite informative as well. So I felt like, as though it's funny, as well as being funny, I also learned something from it as well, which I think is good. I just felt it was a very different offering for something that was war focused.